Is your local authority or your local council day, and it's just basically just acknowledging the work of different services in different counties. There's only two county councils, there's three city councils in Ireland. In the Republic of Ireland, there's three city councils: Galway City Council, Cork City Council, and Dublin City Council, and then the West are county councils. I might be, what I said there, and I'm not too sure. Again, I think Galway has a city council, as far as I remember. But yeah, I just want to talk too, because there's a huge amount of things happening in the background of local authorities and in different county councils, as a city or so. Like there's a huge amount. You think about it from the fire service. The fire service, every fire service in the country is overseen by the local authorities, by the local councils. They do have people over it. They can't think there's a person in the cabinet can't think of what you would call it, emergency over the emergencies department, over the civil defence and over the fire service too. The civil defence is another part of the local authorities too. Civil defence is really overseen by the council and given funded by the local authorities. And then there's obviously the waste management sectors. You have the road workers and the road section. You have waste management. You have the water service take samples of the water, make sure the water's safe. You have the tourism sector, Cavan Colin, for example, in Cavan County Council. We have a section, Cavan Colin, again, I had to say it, but it was amazing last year, I remember Cavan Day, who was responsible for Cavan Day, and obviously tourism. This is Cavan advertisements, which is another section of the council funded by Cavan County Council, for example. The tourist section of the council, advertisement section you could call it too. There's many other services. You have the pollination section, the flowers, the biodiversity sections. You have an Irish language officer in Cavan County Council, which is nearly the first in the country nearly to have its own full-time Irish officer, language officer, officer. You have many other services. You have the people behind the desk, the people in the library services, both too, Cavan, Ballygym stuff, all the libraries in Cavan who run the Cavan County Council, who are overseen by Cavan County Council and paid through Cavan County Council. And other county councils too is the same. The same as many theatres, the Cavan County Council obviously do fund a lot of theatre, a lot of entertainment. Take for example the Wamo Theatre is a private business, but they do get a lot of funding from Cavan County Council. And obviously, we have to acknowledge all this work that's happening in the background too. The people who answer the phone calls, if you're reporting in waste, legal dumping or anything like that, these people who work tirelessly to make sure people are represented, particularly in Cavan. I just use Cavan as an example because I'm here in Cavan. The women and the men behind the phones, doing outstanding work, helping out as much as they can. You might say, what does the council do? Well, many people say that I don't know what they do. They seem like they want to go up and down the road, but we'll not say too much of that. But yeah, I just want to acknowledge that because they have worked extremely hard and have done a lot, especially for the last few months. We don't appreciate the work they do behind the scenes. Like again, I just touched on the fire service and civil defence, for example. I think the fire service in this country, all across this country is very underrated, and I suppose it's not talked about enough. The men who put themselves at risk, who run into danger. And again, I think we have to remember that, and we have to just take a second to remember to admire these men and these women who put themselves in danger to save people and to help people out. And again, that's very commendable. I'm sure the civil defence do amazing work too. The civil defence, they do classes, they do different things on saving people and helping people, which is great. And obviously too, I want to touch on your local county councils too, because they are a part of Cavan County Council. For example, 17 elected representatives from the local authorities, both Belturbet, Cavan, Bay of Too, Ballygym, Stuff, Virginia Municipal Authority, 3 municipal authorities in Cavan. Both have 17 elected members to the local authority, Cavan County Council, just an example in Cavan. And obviously they do a lot. They have different roles too. Majority, as you know, the Scahiluchs of the 3 districts. John Paul Phelan is the Gaeltacht of the Belturbet, Cavan Municipal Authority. I actually put myself in the spot here. I can't remember the other 2 Gaeltachts. The other fellows are Sinn Féin County in the... What is it? I think Bay of Virginia. I can't think of his name now. But yeah, I can't remember, put myself in the spot. But again, forgive me for that. But yeah, there's like, and it's obviously over Hill looked, which is with Richard Clifton. He's the over Hill looked. And obviously, they do huge work behind the scenes for different people in the interest of the respected areas. And obviously, there's a huge amount that goes on in the background, in the county councils, and I just want to acknowledge all the staff, especially, and this is especially important. This next bit, the community hotlines, the COVID community hotlines. Every local authority set up a community hotline, which is the right thing to do to help older people out, bringing food X, Y, and Z. Helping out people, funding for people in society. And Cavan County Council was no different. And I just want to acknowledge, because many of them were from Cavan County Council on the phones. They did extra hours and everything. I just want to acknowledge the hard work they put in helping out people and to make sure people were okay, and in the best medical, in the best state they could make them, help them out with, I suppose. So I just want to acknowledge that. And again, I just want to say to people before it's anything else, as somebody that, I wouldn't say that they have, you have your dog ones, you have your little ones too. But again, some people might look at the Celts, again, there's a few jokes going on, a few memes and things like that, which is fair enough. I think it's justified, to be honest. But again, at the end of the day, you have to admire, people who are willing to do the best for the public interest. And I was cleaning the street, picking up rubbish, picking up shit, picking up dog poo, excuse my language. You have to just take a second to just say fair play. Because a lot of people nowadays are afraid to be seen doing these kind of work. And again, you have to acknowledge these people who work hard, and they do work hard, and they do their best, and that's all that can be done. And we just have to say, and I want just people to say this: if you see somebody, remember the Celts on the road, let's take for example fixing a footpath, let's say, or a step or something like that, you will just say fair play and thank you for your service. A small bit of appreciation. Just take a minute just to say an appreciation to the person who's worked for the county, whatever county, Westmeath, Offaly, whatever. Just take a second just to say fair play to yourself, or fair play to your madam for all you do for the county. Again, it's just appreciation. Again, it's something that we do have to appreciate people for their work. Even if it's 10 minutes of work, we just again, it's appreciation. It's just that they went to the effort to do that. So yeah, thank you everybody, and take care.